TikTok mother causes blah, 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 I don't know, to lose. Who's that? To lose 100 million USD. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. We got atozy. If you don't know who he is, he makes great videos. If you like this video, buy him. Hit the link, follow up on him. Makes great videos, bro. So over here, hit the links. Hit the links. Wrong channel. All right, hit the like button. Let's get to the video.
This TikToker turned reality TV star was set to be ABC's newest Bachelorette until a video came out that was.
We watching reality TV shows in 2026? I didn't know we're still doing that. Okay. If it would be one, it'd be like a YouTube series, right? I didn't know.
So horrible they actually had to scrap the entire season just 3 days before it was set to premiere, reportedly costing the network in the range of about $100 million.
Yeah, look at you. Look.
Oh!
Yeah, look.
Oh, I didn't know it was her. Now I know exactly what this is. Oh,
This is called physical abuse. See, Taylor, this is all you do.
And if you thought that was bad enough on its own, somehow the story just keeps getting worse. Then on top of that, at the same time, they paused filming on her main reality TV show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, due to a different ongoing investigation, but still on the same topic. Then again, it keeps getting worse, so now apparently there's a third allegation that's come out against her from her ex. But what I really find crazy in all this is her being arrested and charged with domestic abuse was essentially just the cliffhanger of the first episode of a reality TV show. So I mean, this shouldn't be that surprising. I mean, this was all public information, or well, besides the horrible home recorded video and the 2 new allegations, but everything else was public. This is kind of like
what the fuck? I don't want to be rude. Again.
Video and the 2 new allegations, but everything.
Oh no, that is, to me, it just doesn't look normal. Like, look at atozy. Look at his face compared to hers. Oh no, man. Again, it's like, looks like she has plastic surgery or something done.
Else was public. This is kind of like hiring a burglar who you knew burglared some homes, but then suddenly video footage came out of the burglar and you're like, well, sorry, can't work with you anymore. Now, by no means by ever defending this woman, but it's still kind of funny that the network did a big oopsie here, because one would think at least that would be a preventable oopsie, because at the end of the day, that was literally how they built hype around this show. They loved the fact that she was a problematic Mormon, but I guess they were just meaning violent and potentially dangerous. So meet Taylor Frankie Paul, and certainly she doesn't shy away from her scandals. I mean, hey, in some instances that could be admirable, but people are confused as to why and how she keeps being given more and more opportunities for fame from mainstream media despite publicly pleading guilty to domestic abuse back in 2023 and very clearly putting her child in danger.
From what I'm hearing, if this was a guy, you think he would be doing all this? I don't believe it. Again, there could be some incidents, but like, yo, you think so? He would still be famous? Still be on the internet? I don't know, but I think people would have pitchforks ready to burn him at the stake, bro. Oh yeah,
Your daughter
with the chair. Man, this is nuts, dog.
is right here.
And now I think it's safe to say that she should be taking, you know, a little bit of a reality TV hiatus, because how did she even end up being the cast of The Bachelorette in the first?
Who like made her famous, and who really cares about her that much? Where it's like, got her to this success, or got her to this level in life where she needs her own reality TV show. Who's drooling out the mouth for that? I just want to know.
First place, probably because of the train wreck theory, where, you know, a train wreck is awful, everyone can see it coming, but most people still want to see it happen. Does the train wreck theory exist, or did I just make that up? Train wreck theory genuinely refers to the psychological or social observation of chaotic, self-destructive, failing situations, whether in life or river. Oh, apparently this is a thing. I had no idea it was a thing. I just
thought it was something else, like a train crash. Like, it's traumatic, but you won't look away. Oops. True.
I came up with that off the dome right now, but apparently I am not that unique. Moving on. But real quick, it's probably a good time to talk about something that nobody actually thinks about until it's too late. Because just in the last few weeks, we've had a massive Crunchyroll leak, a massive Car Gurus leak, and many others. And every time, it's the same story. Millions of people's information just gets dumped online like it's nothing. Names, addresses, phone numbers, all floating around, I guess, for any scammer to grab. And once that stuff is there, unfortunately, you don't have too much to say anymore, and that's how people end up with fake accounts opened in their names, insanely convincing phishing emails, or someone just straight up
delete me,
trying to steal someone's identity. And that's why I've been using today's sponsor, Incogni.
Wrong.
Because Incogni actually goes after the data brokers, the companies whose entire business is scraping and selling your personal.
You know, for now on, there's not a diss for him. Let me not talk. You know, get your money. I'm sure this product was great. Obviously, he wouldn't be sponsoring it, putting his name behind something that's terrible. Who would do that? Ruin their reputation. But I think for now on, I'm gonna start guessing sponsors. See how good I get at that.
Actually goes after the data brokers, the companies whose entire business is scraping and selling your personal information and then forcing them to delete it. And no, this isn't a one and done thing either. They actually keep monitoring over time so your information doesn't quietly end right back up on those same websites. And I've personally been using Incogni for about 1.5 years now, and you can see the progress on this dashboard because I've had over 1,000 successful removals so far, which realistically would have taken me hundreds of hours to even deal with on my own. And honestly, like, one of the biggest benefits here is just the peace of mind, especially as we move forward with 2026, because these data leaks just seem to happen more and more regularly. But they also added a new feature called custom removal. So if you find your home address or personal information that's on one of those sketchy people websites, you can actually flag it and have Incogni remove it for you. And that alone could definitely help prevent stalking, fraud, or worse, even before it starts. So if you want to get protected this year, you can head over to incogni.com/atozy and use the code atozy for an exclusive 60% off, and you can find that link right down below. Because with data leaks becoming basically a yearly tradition at this point, I'm genuinely glad a service like this exists, because criminals only need one weak spot, and Incogni helps close that door at least. So again, if you want to get protected, you can go to incogni.com/atozy and use code atozy for 60% off. But
I mean, especially if you're like a creator like him who's actually famous, unlike me, but like him, people over here looking you up and stuff. You don't want no one knowing where you live. That's weird.
Without further ado, let's continue the video. A lot of people are asking the question, how did they even keep filming the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives after episode 1? Like, I know there are going to be a lot of people who aren't familiar with
people love chaos.
Taylor Frankie Paul, which would make sense because, you know, her brand has always been targeted more towards Mormon moms. So even though she has over 6 million followers on TikTok and, like I mentioned, her own reality TV show, I am going to go out on a limb and assume that I don't share a ton of viewers with the leader of Mormon TikTok. Regardless, I'll give you a super short rundown of her past before we get into the video that potentially ruined everything for her. So maybe...
Whoa.
Leader of Mormon TikTok. Regardless, I'll give you a super short rundown of her.
So I don't know the lore on this. She's like, what do you mean? You don't know this happened? Yeah. I know of it, but I don't know what the details
past before we get into the video that...
So, because this got leaked, why are we putting this out in 2020? This is odd to me. I'm not saying it's not right, or it's not. It's right for her to do it. You can do whatever you want. Do what you want. No, I'm not brain dead, but I'm saying, like, this looks like someone had this on the vault ready for her. To hit her with a ballistic missile to shoot her out the air. Oh, I'm going to get my contract. No, you're not. Here comes this. That's what it looks like to me. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just giving my 2 cents because, again, she did do this. Is definitely showing a lot of her character, how she's acting, but this looks like someone's doing something.
Potentially ruined everything for her. So maybe you've noticed in general that for the last few years, more and more fascinated with Mormons. But maybe you've noticed in general that the public has become more and more fascinated with Mormons and just, I guess, Utah culture in general for the last few years. You have like the dirty soda, the unique style, their loopholes, and they have a lot of very
soaking.
Interesting loopholes. And I guess we could potentially
I don't think anyone's really. People are just like, oh, whatever. It's like Amish people. It's like no one really cares that much. It's like, oh, okay, no one cares.
put a lot of that blame on Mom Talk, which is a group of Mormon women who've started creating content together on TikTok in 2020. And like many of them who started at that time, they gained a lot of followers quickly because everyone was isolated inside. And suddenly a whole group of these Mormon TikTok moms started appearing and people were like, okay, this is bizarre. I'm intrigued now. But part of their whole thing was showing that they can be Mormon and still be modern and do normal things, which I guess is true. But when you look at their content, a lot of what they're doing is not really normal. And then on top of that, you also have some rules in Mormonism that they're pretty clear about. But I mean, that's not the point. The group has had a little bit of a rotating cast based on who's in hot water, but more or less it's consisted of the same people, with Taylor pretty much always being known as the leader of this clique. So a lot of people were pretty much obsessed with their extensions and how the fact they could drink 32 ounces of soda at 8 in the morning and do TikTok challenges and crop tops while still being perfect Mormons. And the entire group did extremely well on TikTok, but were still considered somewhat niche in terms of pop culture and celebrity culture. But the first big scandal hit Mom Talk in 2022 when Taylor announced that she and her husband, Tate Paul, were involved in a soft swinging scandal, along with some of the other Mom Talk couples.
I don't know what you would call it if it's like soft swinging, but you don't like fully switch, if that makes sense. We had an agreement, like all of us, and I did step out of that agreement. That's where I messed up, and I obviously am losing everything that I have, so that is true.
So you got greedy with it. He let you, was like, fine, we'll push the boundaries a little. Dude, I just couldn't resist the D. I couldn't resist the D. That's what she's saying. Yeah, dude, I just had to, I had to do what I had to do. Like, what are you doing? He let you push the boundaries. Like, I'll let you even go out of bounds. No, I want to go to the sidelines. You wouldn't. Yeah, I just broke the contract.
I don't, like, no one was innocent. Everyone has hooked up with, like, everyone in the situation. So, like, yes, I'm getting shunned for doing that, but it wasn't like I was, like, going around, like, hooking up with my friend's, like, husband. It was, like, we were at a party, I got belligerent, and we went and messed up, like, by ourselves rather with the whole group, if that makes sense.
At first, okay,
So they're, like, kind of fake being Mormon. They're like, I'm Christian. They're like this John 6:13. I'm Christian, I'm this. And then they're drinking, doing whatever in college and stuff. Right? You guys see those TikToks. They're like, what? Yeah, we got messed up. I thought you were only drinking soda. Why are you guys drinking alcohol? Getting drunk.
Might be asking, what is soft swinging? What in the... Okay, pause. Well, basically, it just means that a group of the Mom Talk women and their husbands were, I guess, swapping partners, and I guess doing this with minimal contact. Fascinating use of free will, but here we are. And I feel like, you know, Mormonism has some clear rules against that, but we won't get into that. Regardless, what was supposed to be an embarrassing admission of guilt ended up being what pretty much catapulted Taylor into actual fame beyond the limits of social media. So she built her success off of essentially admitting to cheating, and it landed her more than one reality TV show. So yeah, those episodes will probably never see the light of day, and maybe she shouldn't keep getting rewarded for her behavior, especially with everything that we've seen now.
It's not okay. Holy
It's okay. I don't give a f.
Let me go. Stop. Dude, leave me alone.
I'm sorry, but he's...
Because I mean, there's one thing to...
Okay, stop. He's definitely pushing it when I'm talking about like, oh my god, like, dude, that's where she stole shit. I mean, I'm walking up to you, and we getting down. What do you mean by that? I'm either holding you down till the cops come because you're throwing fucking chairs at me. That's getting to a point. I'm saying when you gotta start playing like with dodgeball, if you could dodge a chair, you could. No, I'm not playing dodgeball. If you could dodge a chair, you could dodge a ball. No. It's like I'm playing dodgeball with chairs. I'm out here weaving like a fucking Canelo. Like what do you mean? I don't know. This is out of hand, man.
Joke about her being a bad Mormon or admitting to both, you know, cheating and swinging on TikTok Live. But the fact that she legitimately put her kids in harm's way with her actions is no laughing matter. Like,
The kid, where's the dad?
That just sucks, because even though her domestic violence arrest was
They don't
public
care.
information, the video that was just released wasn't exactly public.
Mormon.
And that video includes the altercation that resulted in the police being called. And let's just say it's not a great look for Taylor, no matter what statement she has or how she tries to spin it. And I am absolutely not alleging anything. I'm just looking at and speaking on what the public is seeing, which is unfortunately her just whipping metal bar stools at her on and off again boyfriend slash baby daddy of one of her kids during an argument that happened back in 2020.
She's out of hand.
23. And the whole time, one of their kids was sitting right there on the sofa and is said to have either been struck by one of the metal bar stools during all of this, but at the very least witnessed this. And only when the kid really starts screaming and crying do either of them break out of this tunnel vision of fighting, which can really illustrate their main issue here. But throughout the seasons of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Taylor and her baby daddy have a very obviously toxic hot and cold relationship. But it's pretty much been in their brand to be like this.
Who care? Like, who would actually care about these people? Well, like, people had a lot of free time in the world to be caring. Like, if this is the things you were caring about, I don't know.
He is a liar, as you say?
Well, absolutely.
Why did you work for him?
Savannah, slow down.
And this was obviously
And then she's out here normalizing that. Then this is the end of it. This is the end of it. This is gonna get me to a point where I'm gonna
marked by, you know, the series premiere where they get into such a violent argument that the neighbors call the police and Taylor's eventually arrested. So even after that, they continue their, you know, their on and off again behavior, and they're suddenly unconcerned about the fact that they are together, and they get into such heated arguments all the time. And it seems like this happens so often that they forget about the well-being and safety of the children in the house. That's just me, I guess.
They only care about each other. That's the thing. Like, people are not understanding. Well, he's I don't think he's not I don't know him. But people are not understanding. They only care about each other, not caring about the kid. I'm doing it for the kid. No, you're not. You're doing it for what's in between y'all's legs.
Who knows? I'm calling out the TV producers here because I feel like any normal person will be like, yo, there's a massive problem here. Maybe this shouldn't be the lead of our $100 million investment. But what was surprising to me is how many people are actually on Taylor's side in all of this. So they want the season to air regardless, or they want to know why ABC is pretending they had no idea about Taylor's past, which is fair because, you know, they teased all of this fighting going up to it, but then they saw the clip. They're like, ah, okay. I don't know. So, I mean, it seems like both the network and the Mormon mom is in the wrong here. And they also have this segment of people who are maybe not on the network side nor on the mom's side, but they're at least very anti the baby daddy. And there are rumors that he strategically leaked this video to TMZ on their son's birthday, or that he's been threatening to leak this video and only did it because of her Bachelorette premiere coming out. Essentially, the fans are saying he's kind of acting like,
really don't care.
If I can't have you, no one can. So that's also kind of interesting. This is not a quote from him, by the way. This is just kind of what the fans.
This is what people don't understand. This is what actions of your consequences of being in this toxic relationship and cheering this on. Oh, you're this, you're that. This is what comes with it. You made your bed, now lay in it. Sorry. I don't really. To me, it's like I don't care about the situation, and I don't care in general. Womp womp. Like, why do people expect anyone to really care? You did it in general. Okay, the video's leaked, whatever. The company does what they gotta do. Now, if it's actually bullshittery, it's bullshit. But it's not bullshit. It's real. You did it. You were throwing things. You almost hit your kid. It's a bad look. Womp womp. Why are we supposed to care?
Saying. But I mean, if we look at Taylor's statement, we're gonna have to kind of assume that she's gonna have a lot to say about the baby daddy coming soon, and most likely accuse him of some crazy stuff as well. But look, even if the dude is just downright evil, she still knew that her kid was in the room while she was throwing these metal bar stools around at him, which is absolutely not ideal parenting, to put it lightly. But regardless, both of these things can be true. It doesn't make the child crying in the video any less hard to hear. But both of them acknowledging their toxicity for years doesn't exactly make either of them look innocent whatsoever. And two wrongs definitely do not make a right, especially when it comes to abuse in any form. but I also do hope they both stay away from each other unless they have to do so for the child, because remember, they are co-parenting a child
They ain't doing shit for the child.
together
They ain't
for
doing
the
nothing.
foreseeable future. So
They do something for the child. Ah, throwing metal chairs over their head.
the biggest loser of all this is the kids. Or, well, the plan was originally to co-parent. Because remember how I mentioned they paused the filming of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives for another domestic abuse investigation? Well, it could be related to this video being leaked, or could be due to an alleged altercation from the past February. Because Dakota, or the baby daddy, filed for sole custody of their child and filed a protective order against Taylor earlier this month. And this has stopped all filming of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And he references an argument from the end of February that he claims got violent. And again, Taylor's team is saying that there were accusations from both sides. And guess what? A hearing has been set for April 7th, which means this is just going to get dragged out into the public even more. But I mean, if it's true they got into another
They want it to. That's the thing. They want it.
their physical fight in front of their children just a couple months ago, this is even worse than we thought, because this newly released video was apparently evidence from the 2023 trial where charges against Taylor ended up being dropped, and it was only just leaked to the public. But a lot of people seem to think that ABC should have known about it long before they chose to cast her for the newest Bachelorette. You know, especially considering the parent of both of the companies that have her shows is Disney. But regardless, people still watch.
They don't care. No one cares. Who's making her famous? Who cares? Lying away like, oh my god, I don't care about her life. Who really cares about her?
And I feel like people will just continue to watch people, even though if they're legitimately dangerous to themselves and their families. But
Yeah,
that's
Christian Rock pregnant. Oh, no one cares. No one cares about anybody. They don't care.
just the, what's it called? The train thing. That's just the train wreck theory. But of course, just like all my other videos, it keeps getting worse because now Dakota has also alleged a third incident happened back in 2024. So as of right now, very details are released. It's hard to have any idea of what the situation entailed, but if we can use our brains for half a second, we can assume it was probably a nasty verbal and maybe a physical altercation. But Dakota seems to not be holding back on the allegations as he tries to get full custody. So where are we at right now? Well, until April 7th, we kind of just have to wait and see what happens. And apparently some of the people who were, you know, supposed to be dating the Bachelorette are looking at suing ABC for loss of income and putting them in a dangerous situation. So that'll also be interesting. But unfortunately for Taylor, she might also have bigger fish to fry because she could be asked to return her paychecks or front the cost for the lost season due to her own actions, which is absolutely insane as well. And that's just a lawyer.
I don't know. We'll see.
You're speculating. Who knows what will happen? We won't really know anything more until April 7th. So I'll probably make a follow-up around.
I think like, hey, you shut up. We shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Okay.
Then if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video. And also,
maybe this might get pushed out.
so if you guys want some free gamer subs, you can go to gamersubs.gg/atozy and get the free samples. You don't even have to enter your credit card. And if you've tried the free samples before and you want to get a tub of gamer subs, which is 100 servings in this little tiny tub right here, you can use code atozy and get 10% off of that. But regardless, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Shout out to him. Straight up. Shout out to him. They know, but they still greenlight her. Yep. Normalize treating abuse as bad regardless as the abuser identified. Yep. Finally, physical abuse against men has been looking, dude. This has kind of been back to back, kind of like the last video we did was not really physical. It was scratched them. I don't know if you want to watch that one. Look up Lil Willis clips body cam. Great video. No, bro, she should have been talking about. I don't. Bro, one thing is, who cares about her? She looks 50, she's 22. What the, is she actually 22? I was like, maybe she's like 25, 26, 28, 30, I was like 30. This network doesn't care until she struck her kid, clearly. They didn't want to see the women committing DV against her baby daddy. Are you serious? Yeah, they don't, that's what I'm saying, they don't care until only care until it was a baby. That is 100% true. So Disney fired Jonathan, I don't know, Majors, after he got a domestic violence conviction, then hired some influencer who they know. That's what I'm saying. Like people, again, you can say everyone. I don't think this is like actually true, but I think it does. I think it's gonna look worse if a man does it than a woman. It just is what it is. You can say it, but it is what it is. Why does the media insist on elevating and celebrating the worst examples of humanity? Because people love chaos. People love chaos. People love chaos. I don't know, bro. You could say social media this, but you gotta understand, social media isn't doing anything if you ain't got no, if you don't got motion. They're not gonna give you product. They're not gonna give you sponsorships. They're not gonna give you shit if no one's out here, bro. People are going like, or just going ham. People love her, so you gotta not really like social media. Social media. It's the people. Who's following this and is like, yeah, dude, this is amazing. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. What you, bro? You think she should have got canceled? I don't really care. Not gonna watch it. Probably was never gonna watch it. The only time I would ever hear about it if it was from like a video like this or something like that. Really don't care.